We're going to be doing Winona Ryder today. Thank you, second period, for picking. I am just getting rid of some of the background people so I can keep her large, and then I'll move her into the corner. And starting with my red color, as usual, I'm going to use a size, let's go 6. And we're going to kind of do the face. Looking at her face shape, it's pretty oval, but I'm going to give her chin a little bit more angle. While her face is a little bit longer, everything happening in her face is scrunched up, so it's in a very small section. So we want to keep those eyes and mouth very close to each other. Notice I did the mouth at an angle as well. I'm going to go ahead and pop in what I think some features should be. I started with the eyebrows because I think that they're a very good starting point. Getting that kind of question mark eyebrow in there. From here, I'm going to add some of those frowny wrinkles in, nose crunch kind of going on in the corner there as well. This nose gave me lots and lots of issues. I went back and forth on it many times. But you'll see. I couldn't decide if I want to accentuate the point or just keep it a little bit wider. I ended up keeping it a bit wider. I'm making her eyes bigger than they are in the caricature. You can go two ways here. You can make her eyes almost completely scrunch where you see no eyeball, no iris or pupil. I decided to kind of make them bigger, and instead I'm going to focus more on her mouth, which is at an angle, as well as all of the lines from the facial expression she is making. Just placing in those markers. I made her face a little too long. I'm going to shorten it. I still want it to look like everything is happening in a very small area, but I'm going to shorten it. I'm just giving an outline for the hair. I'll come back and maybe add that wave a little bit so she doesn't look too much like Lord Farquaad here. Getting rid of my red lines just so I can see what's happening, giving the point of her chin and then taking it out and making her jawline a little bit sharper than it actually is here. And popping those wrinkles in, giving her some eyeballs and a few more just shaded lines where I think it should be. I don't want her nose to look too crooked. Neck, I'm going to make her the hair now. Like I said, wave those lines out and erase the original. Her hair's in some sort of updo. Just giving in some guidelines to give direction to the hair now. A few more tendrils as well. Now for the shoulders, I'm doing really high arched shoulders. I'm just going to put the illusion of her shirt, her necklace, pop that in. For the necklaces, the smaller necklaces, we'll try some different types of chains, I think. The first is maybe a figure 8 or repeated. A little bit messy, that's okay. The other one, maybe you can do just circles or loops. Let me show it a little larger here. It looks a little crazy large, but then further away it looks like it's linked. So some more figure 8s. It's a go-to for something super fast. And then I'm just going to do some loops for the last one. I think she has one more, but her neck is looking a little busy, so I'm going to leave it there. Add a few more wrinkles in her pupils. And I always forget to close those circles. All right. She looks a little crazy. Let's add some color. Not the perfect color match I was hoping for. Maybe a little bit more yellow. No. You could totally use your color picker, I guess, but I don't like using my color picker. You might notice when you do your color picker and the color is off, it's because Photoshop uses RBJ or RBG, and our computer screens are LCD and it's going off of that. So you're not going to actually always get that true color pick that you want. So I kind of like to go in with my own colors. Going for an airbrush technique right now, popping in some darker, some pinks, And now I'm going to actually do some purples and blues, something a little different on this caricature, to pop into those shadows, to give some cool tones into her face where your shadows would be. A lot of times, oops, okay, hold up. I think I just lost my project. I'll be right back. I'm back. Okay. So like I was saying, we're going to use some blue tones or cooler tones to actually give the impression of a shadow, because normally they're not actually warm in color and tone. Going on to the lips, they're kind of a reddish color. Going to go ahead and fill it in first before we add in our shadows and highlights like normal. All right, let's add those white into the eyeballs here. I guess I could have used the color fill to go faster. That's okay. Clean up those lines. Let's go with the actually shade here first. I'm going with a bluish purple gray here, and then I'm going to smudge that in, of course, as usual. And now we'll go ahead and pop in a very dark brown into her eyeballs, and then again, we'll shade with a darker and then put a little highlight in. It's the same pretty much every time. Maybe a little bit golder of a color, and let's go ahead and smudge. And this time I'm going to put the white highlight on the left side. Ooh, too big. Left, so too small. Okay. Squiggle, squiggle. I don't want it to look like eyeliner. I'm not doing eyeliner or mascara on her, which makes her look a little frownier in my opinion. Let's go ahead and shade the nose now. We kind of forgot to do that earlier. I'm doing a more brown color, putting a circle at the tip of her nose to kind of highlight that. Find that pink color we used earlier. Pop a tiny bit of that in. It's not super noticeable, along with that highlight, and smudge. Okay. And around the eyes. And a little bit darker around that nose and in all those frown lines. Now we're going to hit that. I'm doing this on a separate layer than our earlier shading, so that way it's not messing up anything else. She looks crazy without the lines, doesn't she? Time to do the lips. Again, I'm on a separate layer. By the way, I'm at like 12 layers already here, so don't be afraid to use too many layers. Shading around the lips, doing a darker color around the outline, and giving some directional lines to the lips as well. Smudge kind of took too much away. Add a little bit of that highlight. I'm going to add some black directional lines into these lips as well. Trying to decide which shape would work better. Let's make this inner lip line a little bit thicker. Kind of give that shape there. I don't always do the directional lip lines inside the mouth because I think it can look too busy, but with the type of way she's pushing her lips, I think they'll really help, so just adding some tiny little lip lines there. I know you can't really see it from zoomed out, but they'll look good when we make her larger at the end of this. Quick shirt, just doing solid gray here, dark gray. And the only reason I'm not doing black is I was scared you wouldn't be able to see it. Add some black shading in all around. That will smudge out as well. I'm going to go a little heavier on one side than the other. I'm not going to do any highlights on this shirt whatsoever. Smudge that in. And guess what we forgot to do earlier? Color the arms in. I should have totally colored that in when I did the face, but I didn't. Oh well. Let's shade that. A little bit bronzier on the arms. A little pink as well. And let's get that blue like we talked about in the shadows on each side as well. Yeah. Smudge, smudge. It's officially time to tackle her hair. I want a really nice dark brown, chocolate dark brown. And we'll use the color fill tool. So I'm going to outline everywhere, and then I'll just use that bucket fill. I'm going to ignore some of the top section of the hair because I'm going to come in with a lighter color as well. Okay. Switching my brush a little bit up here. I'm going to go ahead and wherever there is a black hairline, I'm going to go over it with the brown here. This is on the layer right underneath the line art. So it's the second layer. Adding just some squiggles coming out of her messy hair, really leaving that widow's peak that she has, coming in with a slightly darker brown, just adding a few more lines here. I want her skin popping through those lines. And I'm going to do a lighter color as well. Kind of have a routine here. Do dark color, do a light color, all of that. This light color isn't super noticeable. I think I might even do a little bit lighter golden color. Yeah, I like that. Okay, keep going. Let's see. So all of these lines make her face look really old. And while Winona Ryder is not necessarily young, she's not old either. So I'm going to take away the one that I think is aging her the most and try to create that that crease that she's doing with just shading. I'm going to layer it a few times, and then I'm going to do a little bit of pink around it, and we're going to highlight with a lighter color just to kind of pop it. I'm not going to get rid of all of the lines. Nope, not going to get rid of all the lines. Let's just stick to getting rid of one or two. Really put in a dark color there, shade it, or smudge it, and let's add a little bit of the highlight here, kind of almost white color. And blend a little bit more pinky in the cheeks because we lost some of that color. Pop that back in. Yeah, I like that. So let's go ahead and do our background color. Same dark color. She looks super pale around it. Erasing. Ooh, that arm's a little janky. You know what, when I enlarge it, I'm going to crop that arm. Get rid of everything. Again, I have so many layers that I am going to have to go through all of these layers as I'm erasing. Now erasing the shading that I did. All right. Let's go ahead and make this, oops. Let's merge all of my layers down first. Merge, 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 merge. And select layers. Look at all these layers. Too many layers. Okay. Now we can make you nice and large and cropped. So here is my finished Winona Ryder, sorry. Well, I'm noticing I should have filled that heart in. So you guys make sure to fill in that heart in a grayish color. All right, good luck.